art friends. I welcome you for a new podcast episode from Werkstattwoche Lüben. This time I'm talking with London-based artist Damaris Athene, whose practice moves between sculpture, glass, textiles and photography. We dive into a fascination with the body, human, animal and beyond, and explore how accidents in the studio often lead to her most surprising breakthroughs. From dissecting cadavers to layering digital collages, Damaris shares how vulnerability, material agency and the natural world shape her artistic journey. Tune in for an honest, inspiring conversation recorded live at the Werkstattwoche Lüben. Hello, Damaris Athene.
Hello, Petra Lawson.
It's nice to have you here.
It's nice to be here.
In this wonderful place, Werkstattwoche Lüben. Great. How do you feel?
I feel great. It's wonderful to be here.
Yeah. Is this your first time being with the Werkstattwoche?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First time in Lüben.
Yeah. You're enjoying it, right?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's an absolute amazing place. So calm. Just a few tractors going around. So if it's going to be loud, we will accept it and we will wait and then we will move on. Damaris, what was the last artwork you made that surprised even you?
Oh, that's a good question. I think there's always an element of surprise with everything that I make because I work in quite a process-driven way. So in that way, I always have these nice surprises along the way.
Yeah.
I work a lot with glass in the kiln.
Yeah.
So always that's a wonderful surprise when you open it.
Yeah.
Although it can be a terrible surprise as well.
Yeah.
Everything's gone completely wrong.
Then it's more a shock.
Yes.
When did you first feel like I am an artist?
Oh, maybe when I went to do a foundation course, which is like right after school.
Yeah.
So 18, I think. So maybe quite early, but yeah, I really felt like it was the right thing for me.
Yeah. You're living in London, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you rose in London?
No, I was born in Bristol.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How do you explain your work to someone outside the art world?
I would say that I make conceptual sculptures and also work with painting in a non-traditional way and photography in a non-traditional way.
Yeah. You studied art, right?
Yeah.
Where did you study?
So I did my bachelor's at Camberwell College of Arts in London. And then I had a long break when I was working as an artist, also doing workshop facilitation. And then I did a master's in fine art at City and Guilds of London Art School, which is a really small school.
Yeah.
And then I had a wonderful opportunity to go to the Royal College of London, on a full scholarship. So I went to the ceramics and glass course specifically.
Yeah.
So then I worked a lot on the work with glass.
Yeah. How did you start combining sculpture, fabric, and photography?
Yeah, so it kind of developed in a very organic way, really. I had always worked with fabric when I was a child, like doing a lot of craft stuff at home, and I always wanted to bring it into my practice in some way, but I hadn't really found a way to do that. And it was actually when I was working as an artist, I was rethinking my practice because I'd applied to masters. I'd got to interview level, but I hadn't been successful. So I was thinking, okay, like what's going on here? I need to rethink what I'm doing with my work. And that led me to starting to work with a fabric called neoprene, which you might have experienced in a wetsuit. It's amazing, stretchy, skin-like material. And I started working with airbrushing on that because of some painting assistant work I've been doing for another artist. I discovered this new technique. And then together, I was really liking what those materials were doing. And then I came back to the photography in a new way. I started photographing myself with these sculptural paintings in a landscape. I was living in the countryside, so much like in Lüben, but in Cambridgeshire in the UK. And then I continued developing that way of working with textiles when I was at City and Guilds of London Art School, and started bringing in glass to it with the first time, because I hadn't had the opportunity to have those workshops and learn all of those sort of complicated techniques.
Yeah. Wonderful. Your work is often centered on the body. Why is that your main side of exploration?
I think it's always been something very interesting to me. When I was younger, I wanted to train as a doctor, so I was always very interested in biology and what's happening in our bodies, and this disconnect we have with the internal body and the external body, and how we're trying to understand what's going on inside of us. And it always seems so alien to see these pictures of the internal body and to think that that's me too.
Yeah,
it's like when you see, I had the opportunity to go to a dissection lab and draw some cadavers, so dead bodies, which was a really profound experience. And it sort of doesn't look human anymore. You can really tell there's no life in this body anymore. And it's very strange to think that that's what you look like inside as well. So it's always been fascinating to me. And then also as a woman, I think you're very conscious of your body in a way you aren't, due to societal pressure and also menstruation, things like that. And as sort of digital technology is becoming more and more prevalent as I was growing up, I think I was accentuating that difference, thinking about how women's bodies are viewed online and how there's sort of more pressure on the way you look. But then more recently, over the last few years, I've been more interested in the bodies of more than humans, so thinking about animals, plants, fungi, and how all these different organisms are connected to us and how they can teach us a lot.
Yeah, great. What's the process behind your digital textile collage?
Yeah, so with the digital collage, I sometimes print onto textiles. So I'm currently working on a project with layered imagery. So I'm taking images of me maybe performing with some of my artwork in a landscape, or taking close-ups from that and then editing them a lot on Photoshop so they become extremely distorted. And I'm very interested in layering things on top of each other so you get this meta regurgitation of imagery, much like what we see in the digital sphere is one image. It's like used again and again and again, but it's getting distorted and transformed in every iteration. So I do that in a lot of my work. I kind of fold things back in on themselves and re-transform them into a different medium or a different way of working.
Yeah, your work feels staged yet vulnerable. How do you balance control and exposure?
Oh, interesting question. So maybe in the way that I'm working with materials, I'm often collaborating with their agency. So that gives me space to let go and sort of see what the material does. So especially working with glass, and I use wax sometimes in that process. And then it's me controlling what I want at the end. I'm kind of curating what I want. And so it's this constant balance between the two.
Do you allow accidents or randomness to enter your process?
Yeah, I often find that the best ideas come from when things supposedly go wrong. And then
funny.
it's nice that you get surprised by these unexpected things, and then that's something to pick up later. And it may be that, like working with glass, I'm trying to do a specific thing, something goes wrong, that gives me the idea of like the thing I'm going to do next, while I try and overcome whatever process I'm struggling with.
What is your plan for What are you doing here during the Werkstattwoche Lüben? What was your idea?
So I'm working on 2 series of paper-based work. So I wanted to challenge myself to work with a different material that I haven't used for a long time. So I'm making some photographic collages. So they're very close-up images of water. I'm really interested in how water is this barrier that we can see through, but yet there's this whole other world that we don't understand. It's also something that connects all beings. It's flowing through all of us.
Yeah.
And water is also always ever changing in front of us. We can never get a supposed true reading of it. It's always interacting with light. It has different levels of transparency. It's always moving. So I'm very interested in that. So I'm layering the same image on top of each other, and the top image might be distorted in some way, turned around, or the colors changed, and then I'm cutting out bits of the image. So, for example, with an image of bubbles, I'm cutting out the bubbles and then layering it back over.
Yeah.
So again, this kind of meta compression of time, this doubling that's happening. And also, because the paper's thick, there's like a rim around where I've cut. So I'm colouring that as separate colour. So it almost feels like when you're working on Photoshop and you're selecting a shape, it's sort of this weird outlining that's happening that feels very false and digital and staged. And then also working on some pieces that are using a photographic language but in a very handmade way, so using oil pastels and also chalk pastels and tracing paper, making layered almost 3D painting drawings that are actually taking inspiration from all of the patterns from light falling through leaves around here in Lüben. I've been very inspired by that, thinking about this masking and blocking, this transience, absence and presence happening, and thinking about the similarities between the patterns in the water as well.
And that's the time here. I mean, we talk about 10 days of concentrated creative work. Do you already have the feeling that it changes something in yourself with you? How do you say in English?
Yeah, I think in terms of being around lots of new people and lots of new cultures and also a new place, I think, it really does have a profound effect on you, and it will sow the seeds for future work as well, not just what we're making here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it starts something new.
Yeah.
And usually, and when you're back in the UK in your studio, do you work in the same way? 10 days, 8 hours per day or whatever? Or is this different here?
Yeah, I mean, I've recently just come back from another residency, so that's been a bit different. But yeah, I would normally work 8 hours a day, and then I do a bit of workshop work on the side. So I'm lucky that I can pretty much full-time artist at the moment. But it's very financially unstable.
Congratulations. That's not normal. It's not usual. It's not usual. What experience has shaped you the most as an artist?
I think that's a hard question to answer. I can't think of a certain specific thing. I think it's like an accumulation of different things, and learning from different people and working with different materials. Although I'd probably say my time at City and Guilds and London Art School was a real development of my practice. It was a time when I was having a lot of feedback on my work. I was working with glass for the first time. And I think my practice grew and developed a hell of a lot in just 1 year.
Yeah. And I would like to know, how do your ideas come to you? Or do you go looking for them, searching for them?
They can come in different ways. Sometimes it's through the interaction with a material. It will give me an idea. It's also through reading theory, so reading about posthumanism or new materiality or phenomenology. All of these things kind of seep into it, and then you start following a thread, and then all of these branches start to come off of it in different ways that you could explore.
Yeah. That sounds fantastic. And lastly, what's a question you wish someone would ask you? Maybe me?
don't know.
You don't know. It's fine. So I asked you everything you wanted to be asked. Okay, thank you so much for the interview.
You're
nice to have you
welcome.
here.
Thank you very much. It's been great.
Great. Thank you.